Hi, I'm Adrienne Chin. I'm an interior designer based in London, England. Today I'm going to talk to you about an aspect of interior design. Today we're going to talk about how to decorate a loft apartment. And really a loft apartment, as far as I'm concerned, is a space where you have a very open plan area which incorporates a large living room, dining room, kitchen, office area, and perhaps it has some steps up to a mezzanine where you have your bedroom or two bedrooms, a bathroom, all of that kind of thing. So it's a very open plan space which traditionally has been converted from a warehouse, and by so doing you tend to have a lot of interesting architectural features in this space. It's been so popular of a concept that a lot of developers now have built spaces which weren't originally warehouse spaces but do have the qualities that people liked from those spaces, which is that they're very light, very open, and give a different way of living, which is quite nice for a family or a couple, that kind of thing. The disadvantage about loft apartments is that there is a privacy issue. You need to find a way of zoning the space so that people can do different activities without really interfering with each other. Now, what I'm going to do as far as talking about how to decorate a loft apartment is look at the idea of developing a concept for the apartment, for the loft, and how to translate that into actual schemes. What I've done here was for a loft apartment I was working on for a client, and what you'll see here, this is lots of pictures of different ideas which relate to a loft space, and I wanted to present to the client an idea of doing it in quite a contemporary way, which kept, for instance, if you look at this image over here on the top, you see that this is a very large space with a wooden floor, with white walls. It has a mezzanine and all this. So I wanted to give the idea of keeping the light into the flat and adding elements of warmth and accent colors. And this is kind of the idea you see in most of the other images on this board. Now, from this concept board, I'm not saying we're going to do anything exactly the same, but it was something to give the client an idea of what my thinking, what my design ideas and proposals would be for the flat, and to see if he was on the same wavelength. So he saw this, and in general he said, yeah, I like the kind of ideas. Let's see what you come up with the actual design. So this is just a concept. This is not what exactly we're going to do with the loft apartment. From taking that, I then develop sample boards. Now, sample boards show exactly what I'm talking about with regards to the design. So this would be exactly the rug I'm suggesting for the living room area. This would be exactly the coffee table that I'm suggesting with a bit of the red lacquer, and I'm suggesting a big sectional sofa. Accent cushions, vases, an ottoman, artwork, lamp, all of these kind of things based on the feel that I discussed in the concept board. Now, the thing about a loft flat and loft apartment is that as I said, you have to zone the areas, and one good way of doing that is putting in a sectional sofa, because that automatically gives a corner, an area in the floor that becomes your sitting area. So I quite like putting sectional sofas into loft apartments. Then usually behind the sofa there's a space that I zone for the dining table, and here I've done another board for this client, which this room would all be one room. Okay, so I've done a glass dining table which visually doesn't take space up, so it doesn't interfere with light, with an interesting light over the dining table which zones that space, a big sideboard, a rug under the dining table, and white leather chairs. So the dining area and the living area all flow together as one, but we've got an area zoned for the dining and an area zoned for the sitting and living area. What I would do with the rest of that flat, in the master bedroom area, I would bring the same kind of colors into that area. And I would keep the color story going through into the kitchen and the bathrooms as well, so we have an integrated idea. One of the things I really like about loft apartments is they can be a bit eclectic in their design, because they are an unusual place to live and to stay. So I quite often like bringing in vintage items of furniture as well, items from abroad, items from travel. They're the kind of place that lends itself to that kind of looseness and eclecticism in the design. So I think if you're lucky enough to have a loft apartment or a loft flat, you know, let yourself go and experiment with the type of things you want to bring in there. And being eclectic works perfectly well in a loft flat or a loft apartment. If you want some further information or some ideas about interiors, you might want to have a look at my book, which is called The Home Decorator's Color and Texture Sourcebook. You can buy that on my website at www.adriennechin.co.uk.